Same with your clients too. The reason why clients go elsewhere is not because they're not loyal. It's because we don't give them the opportunity to work with us on a deeper level. And that's the power. How many of your clients right now, if you really think about it, you're like, I could help them more. If they pay me some more money, there's actually more we could do here. Not because, and the funny thing is, it's not because you want to extract more money from your clients. It's nothing to do with extracting more money from a client. But if you really think about it, like your top clients they're like your best friends. I love working with my top clients. I'm very happy to speak to my top clients and be like, hey, listen, there's some more work we can do here. We can do another 6 months, another year, or whatever. This is what I'll charge you. So I used to do this with corporate. I used to sit down every October with my clients, and I would say, "We've had a great year. It's coming to the end of the year. What's your sales strategy for next year? Whether you involve me or not, what's your plan?" They'll be like, "Well, Pete, obviously you're a part of it." Now, the fact was, because I brought it up, do you see what I mean? Because I was the one sitting down early with them. They're like, "You're going to be a part of it." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. So what is your plan for next year?" And they start telling me the plan. And then we'd map it out together. And I'll say, "Well, I've been thinking about how I can support you next year. And there is some more work. And actually, it'd be great to be, your trusted advisor. You've got access to me anytime you need. And I don't know how many days a week I'm going to do or how many days a month, but we're not going to worry about that." And this is where it gets really interesting. So where you remove, because you've only got 168 hours in a week. And when you get to a point where you're selling at a very high level to what I call intelligent people, because you want clients who get you, right? You can remove all of those deliverables, like low value selling. Even if you're selling at £5,000, low value selling and saying, "Oh, I'll give you 25 sessions or 25 days." Because what's the problem? Now, what are you being measured by? Is that you're being measured by your time. And it's a really unfair measure, right? So the last consulting that I sold, where I sold days, I sold for quite a bit of money. And I said I'll be in there a day a week. Every Thursday, I used to go there. But the problem was that I didn't need to be there. And I was in the way. And I started making up things that weren't needed, like meetings. Let's have a meeting. For fucking what? What are we going to talk about? Right? And then the middle management, and especially the accountant who paid me, sat next to the operations manager. Now, I'll say this out loud. I was charging £8,000 a month, and I was there a day a week as a consultant. Can you imagine what some middle manager on 30,000 a year, who's there 5 days a week, starts to think of the consultant when he knows that the consultant's being paid £8,000 a month? Oh, by the way, they have short memories. They forget that the business was failing before, and literally, like, you've remapped their strategy. They're making 100K a month. Like, you know what I mean? They forget all that very fast. But it's all the wrong measure. So I remember reaching a point where I was literally going to their business, and it was like a co-working space for me. And I would set up my little laptop, and I'm like doing my time, and then I'd figure out a way to sneak off an hour early. I'm like, this is not how it should be. So anyways, my most recent consulting contract, I didn't go in once. They were like, "Oh, when are you going to come down to London?" I'm like, "I'm not." "What result are you looking for?" They're like, "Well, the one that you've talked about." I'm like, "Great, I can do that from home." Right? We're not paying for people's time because we're not in the 1600s and this isn't slavery. Right? You know how selling time became a thing from factories and farms? Like hundreds of years ago, it was like, "Oh, by the way, we're starting this factory, this mill. You can come in and do an 8-hour shift and we'll pay you for it." And then the next team would come in and do an 8-hour shift or whatever. But then that started to spread. And just because somebody came up with it 300 years ago, it doesn't mean it's the best system, and it isn't. Not for selling your expertise. Industrial revolution, yeah. So you've got to look at it and go, hold on, I'm paid as a trusted advisor. I'm not paid for what I can do. I'm paid for my ability to help the client improve their current situation.